The villagers never entered Black Banyan forest after sunset. They believed something ancient lived beneath the twisted roots of the oldest tree. Every full moon, strange whispers echoed through the woods, and by morning another name would be added to the growing list of missing people. Most dismissed the stories as superstition. Daniel Carter did not. A documentary filmmaker known for exposing fake ghost stories, Daniel traveled to the forgotten village with nothing but his camera, flashlight, and confidence. He planned to spend one night in the forest, prove the legends false, and leave with another successful film. The old innkeeper stopped him before sunset. "If you see black candles burning," the old man whispered, "don't follow the light. And if a woman calls your name, never answer." Daniel smiled politely. "I've heard scarier bedtime stories." At exactly 11:47 p.m. he crossed the broken wooden bridge leading into Black Banyan forest. The silence was unnatural. No birds. No insects. Not even the wind. Only the sound of his footsteps on wet leaves. Minutes later, he noticed tiny black candles burning between the trees. Their flames never moved, even though a cold breeze touched his face. Curious, Daniel followed them. The candles formed a perfect circle around an enormous dead banyan tree. Strange symbols were carved into its roots. In the center lay an old book bound in cracked black leather. The pages were covered in symbols he couldn't understand. As soon as he touched the book, every candle went out. Darkness swallowed the forest. Then, someone whispered behind him, "Daniel." He spun around. No one. His flashlight flickered. Again, "Daniel." This time the voice sounded closer. He slowly lifted his camera. Through the camera screen stood a pale woman with impossibly long black hair covering her face. She wore a torn white dress stained with ash, and her bare feet floated several inches above the ground. Daniel lowered the camera. Nothing. He raised it again. She was closer. His heart pounded. He backed away until his foot struck a stone altar hidden beneath the leaves. Fresh blood covered its surface. Not old blood. Fresh. A cold laugh echoed through the forest. The woman slowly lifted her head. Her face had no eyes, only endless darkness. Daniel ran. Branches clawed at his jacket. Every path looked the same. After several desperate minutes, he stopped. The giant banyan tree stood in front of him again. Impossible. He had been running in the opposite direction. A new sound echoed through the woods. Drums. Slow. Steady. Boom. 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 Figures wearing black robes stepped from the shadows. Each carried a burning black candle. None of them had faces. Where their eyes should have been, only darkness remained. They formed a circle round Daniel. The eyeless witch floated into the center. One of the hooded figures opened the black book. The symbols began glowing deep red. The ground trembled. Black smoke poured from beneath the roots of the banyan tree. Thousands of whispers filled the air. Daniel tried to scream. No sound came out. Invisible hands gripped his arms. The witch reached toward his forehead with long black fingers. A strange symbol burned itself into his skin. Pain exploded through his body. The candles burst into towering black flames. The hooded figures chanted in a language older than memory. Suddenly everything became silent. Daniel opened his eyes. The forest was empty. Morning sunlight shined through the trees. The candles. The altar. The witch. Everything had vanished. Shaking, he hurried back to the village. The villagers stared at him in horror. An elderly woman began crying. "You shouldn't have come back." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" She handed him a faded newspaper. The headline froze his blood. Filmmaker Daniel Carter missing for 30 years. His own photograph smiled back at him. The date was 3 decades old. His hands trembled. "I entered the forest last night." The villagers slowly stepped away. One by one, they made the sign of protection. Daniel pulled out his phone. No signal. The screen suddenly turned black. His reflection smiled. He was unsmiling. Then another face appeared behind him. The eyeless witch. Her whisper came from inside the phone. "You belong to the forest now." Daniel turned. Nothing. When he looked back at the screen, his reflection was gone. Only the witch remained. That evening, the villagers watched in silence as Daniel walked back into Black Banyan forest. He never blinked. He never looked back. The next morning, another black candle burned beneath the ancient banyan tree. And beside it stood a new hooded figure. holding Danielle's camera.